All right, hey everybody, welcome to another episode. That's Josh the Thumbs Up of Tax Lien TV. We've got Josh Blanchard on the other line. As you can see, we're not in the same room. Normally we're sitting in front of these whiteboards, but Josh is off doing his work thing. So we wanted to film a content video with you. So here we are. The video quality isn't great, but you'll be able to hear everything and we're going to get some great tips. So let's dive in to today's video. Josh, what are we talking about?
Okay, great question, Corey. Today we're going to talk about four things that will take your business in tax liens and tax deeds to that next level. And so just to kind of say what those are on the front end, we're going to talk about technology, building a team, utilizing your time and resources, and mentoring. So that's what we're going to get into, Corey. It's going to be a wicked webinar. Excited to be hanging out with my head and making some content.
Yeah, buddy. Cool, man. So, let's start from the top. So you mentioned tech as being the first one. Let's start there. I think, well, actually, let's start with time and resources. Let's go time and resources, technology, team, and then mentoring. Because I feel like it kind of maybe cascades in that order. So,
all right.
So utilizing your time and your resources, we all know how important it is to kind of allocate the right amount of time and resources to this, but we're all starting from different levels. So some people might have a lot of money to invest. Some people might have a little bit of money. So let's just start from someone who has very little money to invest. How are they going to best utilize their time and their resources to get the most out of this system and these tax liens and deeds?
Great. Good question. Yeah, it's usually someone has one or the other. Oftentimes people won't actually have both. You'll either have a lot of time and not many resources, or a lot of resources and very little time. Yeah. It's funny how that works out. But I'd say one of the huge things is you got to spend time working in an area that's going to work for you. So, if you have $5,000 to invest and you're working in an extremely competitive market and you go back month after month after month, hoping to get that home run or just a decent hit, and it's never coming because maybe there's a little bit of properties and a lot of competition, then it just doesn't make sense to keep going back there and waste your time, waste money, especially if you're going to be driving properties, which is what we recommend doing. So, we always recommend that when people have a small amount to invest, lots are a really easy and great way to start. I got a good friend out of Harris County, and he's been killing it with the lots. I think he's got 2, and he just bought one at the last tax sale and has a buyer. And he's working with a bit of capital, but he's making it happen. And getting, I think he's a little bit more than doubling his money, which is phenomenal. So he's looking at property that will fit within his budget. Some people will, take that $5,000 and start driving properties that are worth, $200,000, and that might work in a smaller market or a smaller county, or a county that's not organized or where there's opportunity for that. But you take a county like Harris County, or you take Philadelphia County, counties in California where there's extreme competition, and these big cities, and that's going to be a lot tougher. So you just want to be working in an area that is a place where you can succeed.
Right. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's a lot of great stuff there. And I think a key thing to point out is that those lots that your friend's purchasing is like, that's kind of how you build the capital to get more money. Like we don't expect you guys to like go out there and buy like a $300,000 house right off the top. Like you might not have access to money. You might not have access to other people's money or your own money. So you're going to have to build that capital, and it's going to take a while. So you have to just start with a little bit of money, find a lot that's cheap, buy it, sell it. And then you have that much money, and you have to be good with your money and not spend that money on things that you might want to spend it on, and then reinvest that back into your company. And I will say this: if you need to read a book, this is a great book. Do you have this book, Josh, The Richest Man in Babylon?
Oh, I was actually no. I have heard many great things about it.
Cool. It's good. It's really good. And so like if you want a way to kind of learn how to get your money working for you, this is a great book. And when you couple this with real estate and tax liens and deeds, you're going to be off to the races. It's a great book. Maybe we'll put a link to that below. But basically, I mean, that's a great thing for number one. We don't want to take up too much of your guys' time today, but let's go to number two, which would be the technology side of things. So Josh, you guys are using a ton of technology. What are just give like a notes version of that.
Okay, quick notes. The first thing that is incredible for tax liens and tax deeds is using WhatsApp. If you have a team, you can get everyone in that WhatsApp. You can drive properties, take photographs of the properties, put it in WhatsApp. You know, when we work with investors and they're interested in what's going on, we'll just throw them in the WhatsApp, drive properties, put all the photos in so they can see everything. It's incredibly useful. Let's say you have a superstar who's working maybe in the Philippines or something. WhatsApp uses, so you can have them in there as well and communicate with them. WhatsApp is a terrific tool. We use it for every auction trip. Really recommend it. You can also actually use it on your computer as well. You can sync it with your phone. Yeah, technology is so helpful when it comes to tax and tax deeds. We use so much of the internet, you know, for finding an ARV. There's plenty of apps. There's some websites that have apps that are different than the website. So HomeSnap would be one. There's an app for HomeSnap, and that's a terrific way to find an ARV. It's got this little map, and you can see all the houses that are around you, wherever you are, and get comps. So you can find out what's been selling in the area, what's rented, how long it was on the market for, what it sold for. So you can see a lot of people, you know, they might start listing their house at 100K. 20 days later, they drop it 5K. 20 days later, they drop it again. And then 3 months later, you know, they sell it at this price, but it was under contract for this long. Huge. I mean, that's epic. You know, we use a drone to look at roofs in Philadelphia. Actually, Dory the other day was talking about how you flew that drone up there in Texas.
Yeah. Got a sweet
Every
video.
time. Like, I can't believe he took it up that high. But those are fun. Yeah, the drone is incredible. For driving properties, we use Route For Me. Pretty much any way we can make our lives easier, you know, between, you still there?
Yep.
Okay, great. Yeah, any way we can make our lives easier and be more efficient. And this comes back to utilizing your time and resources as well. These really, they fall into the same category essentially, because we use Route For Me, which we got a great free tutorial about as well. And we use that to build the route, and saves so much time. You can lose a lot of time driving properties. And we just use technology as a company, you know, to communicate. I mean, we're using this Zoom, right? When we do live events, we're using all kinds of like networking technology to just take it to that next level.
Yeah, it's true, man. And that's great. I'll say a quick thing about WhatsApp too is really cool, because when you put in a property, like when you write to each other in WhatsApp, you can actually search all of your WhatsApps for a specific property name, and it will pull up all the messages that, so you'll be able to, as long as you document it really good off the front end, like with you just use the proper address and like how maybe whatever process you guys are using for that, but with the address and the photos and stuff, it just pulls it all right off the top, which is really cool. So,
you know what's funny about that? Dory will be driving to a property, and I'll read off the address, and he'll say, that sounds familiar. And I'll be like, yeah, it does. I'll type it in WhatsApp, and I'll see that we actually drove that property like 3 months ago. You know, we'll have all this information, and then we'll just go verify that everything is the same. But yeah, we already put the work in.
Cool.
So it's great that we have, I mean, there's probably like 18 WhatsApp chats that we have. So there's a ton of properties there, and then it gets archived. So I got access to all of it. It's phenomenal. I recommend it for everybody.
Cool. That's awesome. Sweet, man. Well, let's move on to number 3, which would be the team and how important having a team is. I know for our side, we got like our team here that we work together on getting these emails out and getting these videos out and all that stuff. But how does that work on your end for the driving, for like the real estate side and the buying the tax lien?
Yeah. I mean, if you really want to be efficient and effective, you really gotta build a team. And really, I'd say there's maybe 3 or 4 key components or roles to a team. And you definitely want someone who's just overseeing everyone. So if it's your business, that's going to be you. You know, you're handling the direction. You're overseeing everything that's happening. And you have your rehab contractor. You know, the person that oversees all the rehab is working with contractors, rehabbers, getting estimates, because you want to shop around, right? You don't want to take the first estimate, and it can be very time consuming. You know, sometimes you go meet a rehabber or someone in construction at a property, and they don't show up. You know, you call them and they say, I'll be 5 more minutes. I'll be 5 more minutes. 20 minutes later, they say, more minutes. And then an hour passes and they say they're not coming. I mean, so you don't want to be stuck doing that. You know, you want to have someone doing that for you. And you want to have someone working on acquisitions, you know, driving properties, acquiring properties. And that's something that you can teach to someone, and you can have them do that for you in WhatsApp as well. So you can monitor it. And if you're not getting what you need, you can say, hey, can you just do this at that property? Maybe go look around the back. This looks funny. And then you want someone as well to do to sales, you know, selling the property or getting tenants, maybe working on clearing title as well could be their role. So there's so much to do, and it's really easy to get burnt out if you're just doing it yourself. I mean, driving properties can be crazy sometimes. I mean, if I'm doing it with Dory, I don't think we drive anywhere near as many as we do.
Yeah.
The other day, I think we hit our all-time high in one day, but it wasn't. So I shouldn't even say it, but we were going hard, and it takes a lot of Flynn to be that consistent, you know, and to keep things moving, to keep driving properties, and to keep that momentum. You know, it can be easy to start to lag a little bit, but when you're there with someone, you can be like, hey, we gotta pick this up. Or, you know, I mean, it's just a long day. You know, sometimes it's a 14-hour day, and you don't want to be doing that yourself. And especially, I mean, it's not the safest sometimes when you're working in these neighborhoods, maybe D neighborhood, you know,
Right.
and it's you just want to be safe, right? So a team is critical, and you get that synergy. You know, when we're all in the same room together, which doesn't happen too often, but when it does, it's amazing, right? We had our meetings in Vancouver, and then we got that synergy together. You get ideas from each other, but it's very tough to do it on your own. And there's so many people that are wanting to do the exact same thing that you're doing, right? We got our Facebook group, you got REI groups. You want to network, make it happen.
Okay. So what about the people who are just starting out? What can they do, like, as far as a team? Like, because obviously they're not going to have enough money to hire someone full time. Do you think it's possible to do like contract? Be like, hey, look, I need to pay you $50 to come out with me and run the computers so we can route these properties, or like help me look at it. Do you think that's doable?
Right. Yeah. You know, though, before even that, I think the best thing is just to be around people that are like-minded, where you can get fed like that, because a lot of times, you know, what you're doing is you want to step out of your world. You want financial freedom, right? You want to change your life. And sometimes, like, I think Dustin talks about how when he got into real estate, he had all the naysayers, right?
Yeah.
And so I know a ton of people that come to auction trips, and they have friends that say, hey, you know, this isn't going to work. And you want to be around like-minded people. When you can get into a real estate group, you know, that meets weekly or monthly, you're going to get that energy. You're going to see people that are doing it, and it's going to keep you motivated, right? And then, so that would be, I'd say that's one of the most important, getting plugged in the tax lien certificate school community. And then, you know, finding someone cheap on Craigslist that can do that for you would be beneficial. You know, drive properties with you. You can find it really cheap.
Yeah, totally. So it's all about, I think an important thing to note is it's all about just like consistency. And even if you don't find the person like the first time, like building, like you said before in many videos, like building like that networking connection and talking to people and just building those friendships that you can be like, hey, look, I'm going to do this. Would you like to come with me? I'll pay you a little bit. And, you know, even if you can just start out and you just buy them lunch, like even if that's what you need to do, and if they believe in what you're doing, then that's a great way to build a friend and a potential business partner. So yeah, I think that's really cool. And that kind of segues perfectly into the last point that we want to share on this, is which is like mentoring and like being around like-minded communities. And whether it's with us at Tax Lien Certificate School, whether you're buying one of our products or you're joining us on an auction trip, which are fantastic because you can see the whole process. But whether it's that or just like joining a real estate group, a REIA group in your area, or finding Facebook groups, anything, or like a meetup group, because I know there's lots of meetups as well for this stuff. Like that's so important. And I feel like that's the starting place. Like that's where you start to get that motivation, and that's where you start to get that. And if you're just starting out, you got to do that. If you're already a seasoned investor, then you already know all this stuff and you're watching this, and that's great. Come join us on an auction trip because it'll blow your mind. But if you're just starting out, like take that ball, get that ball rolling. And because that personal contact with people who are like-minded will just completely change the way you see this. What are your thoughts on all that stuff?
Yeah, I'd love to just say something about mindset, about mentoring. You know, the successful people I've met on auction trips are the people that are always saying, you know, we never stop learning. And they know they don't know everything. And then it's a completely different mindset from the person that I meet that thinks they know everything, and they come to an auction trip and they're only going to get out what they put in, and they come thinking, I've been doing real estate for however many years. There's nothing left to learn. And that mindset will not benefit you at all. There's some people that think mentoring is silly. And I think that that's silly. To think that mentoring is silly. I mean, we never stop learning, especially other people are going to make mistakes that, you can avoid, right?
Yeah.
We're doing this month in, right? Every month we got new things that are happening. And we're always learning. We're always growing, and taking that mindset, that you can learn from other people, and that you don't know it all will really serve you quite well.
Totally.
But yeah, we got so much material. We got a great community. What I love is every auction trip we have a WhatsApp left open. Everyone still in it, and people are asking questions, which I love. And they're reaching out for answers, which is. I can think of one story in particular where a student didn't ask for help. They waited maybe 2 or 3 months, and then they finally actually asked in the WhatsApp, and we were able to help, which was great. But they didn't wait, that 3 months.
Yeah.
So there's so many people out there that can help, and mentoring is amazing.
Yeah.
If you're not growing, if you're not learning, if you're not doing something that makes you uncomfortable, you're probably not making much progress.
It's true, man. It's true.
I had just read a quote the other day on Instagram. It said, "It's hard to steer a parked car." You know what I'm saying? And I like that a lot. You want to be growing, you want to be moving, you want to be getting mentorship. That's what's up.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I think that we've crushed a lot of great stuff here today. So to review stuff, just like go back and you can watch this again, but we really need to learn how to utilize our time and our resources and jump on the technology train, even if it's one thing at a time, like just getting WhatsApp and learning how to use that. That's the best way to do it. We need to start building our team, or being in the mindset of building a team where it's like, we need to start finding people that we can communicate with and to ask to help us along the journey. Don't be afraid to ask for help, whether it's from us or from someone. You're going to need to start building that out. Even if you just want a small team of like 2 people, 3 people, you can do this with that many people. You're just going to want to go and be in smaller marketplaces where it's easier to manage that. So, and the last one, mentoring. Hang out with people who are like-minded, and hang out with people who are going to help you grow. If we can help in any way, we've got, if you haven't got our free book, we got that. We've got our live auction experiences. I'll put all those links below. I'll put a big old link thing down there, which you guys can have and there's a bunch of free content down there as well. You'll see in the description box if you're on YouTube. If you're watching this somewhere else, you can just message us. But yeah, so we got a bunch of stuff. We would love to help you in any way. You can also call us or email us at any time, and we'd love to help you that way. So
Yes, sir.
Any final thoughts, closing thoughts, Josh, before we wrap this up?
I'd love to meet you guys at an auction or live event, anything like that. So come hang out.